The voice inside of your heart and your head, you know it. Talk you through all these days ahead. Hello, my name is Gena Sims. I am the founder of the Autism Theatre Project and the creator of our web series currently in development called The Voice Inside. And today I'm speaking with Olivia. Hey,
Hello.
Olivia. Olivia is helping us develop our web series. She's an actor, she's a writer, and she's also on the autism spectrum. Olivia, could you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
So I am on the autism spectrum. I was diagnosed when I was 6 years old. And I currently work with kids that are on the spectrum. And I currently work with kids with different disabilities as well. And I'm an actor and I'm a writer.
Olivia, what made you decide to become an actor?
When I was younger, when I was diagnosed with autism, I loved going to theaters and I loved going to go see shows. And then also, because I was nonverbal, my way of communication was through dancing and through body movement.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is a form of art I really love to do. And I also love helping young kids, and also working with people on the spectrum and working with people with different disabilities. Also, because where I am today, I'm just so grateful for everyone who has helped me, and that I really just want to give back, because I believe in sharing is caring. So why not share the love, because that feeling is just so great, and I want to give it to someone else as well.
How does your experience with having autism help you with teaching other children who have autism?
Really the bond and connection that I have with them, because I can really understand what they're going through, and that I can, in any way possible, help them as much as I am able to, and that letting them know that they're not alone. I'm also different and they are also different, and that we're on the same level, and I'm here to help them as well. And that I really want to show them that they can overcome anything, no matter how different they are.
I get what you're saying. I think children in general, and probably especially children with special needs or children who struggle to speak, are really looking to teachers or mentors or whoever they're supposed to be following to see, okay, does this person really understand me, or are they trying to understand me, or are they just trying to get me to follow some kind of general protocol and become like whoever like the system wants me to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would never ask them to become anyone different than who they are already, because who they are is great, and who they are is more than good enough. And that what they have, what the uniqueness that they have, it makes them them, it makes them who they are.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's definitely important for teachers and parents, anybody who works with children, especially special needs, to understand that they can improve their skills and maximize their potential while still embracing the parts of their autism or whatever their condition, their experience is, that makes them unique, the beautiful parts of it.
Yeah.
So growing up, what was autism like for you? Like, how did it affect you and how you experienced the world?
At the time, I knew I was different, but I didn't understand what I had at the time. All I knew was I wasn't the same as other kids. And that was really tough at times, because I would be bullied and picked on every day from school because I was different than those other kids. I just knew that I was not the same as them. But in my mindset, I had to really think that if I was the same as them, if I was the same, this world would be nothing but just plain, And also that we are all different, and that none of us are the same, because it's just how we are. If we were all the same, there would be really not that much interesting stuff in this world, And that we can all learn from each other. Growing up with autism was very, it had its ups and downs, but more of the positive note, it just made me who I am today. And I cannot imagine what my life is like without it, you know?
Are there certain positive aspects of your condition or certain aspects of autism that you think give you a special perspective or a special skill that helps you?
People say I have a photogenic memory. I can remember things that happened 10, 20 years ago when I was a kid.
Mm,
And a lot of people on the spectrum have that because it's in a part of our brain that withholds information that has happened. And I can say that, hey, I remember this like 20 something. That was like, I remember going to this place 20 years ago. I remember what happened during this time. And I can remember what I loved when I was a kid, when I was 4.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Helpful with memorizing lines when you are doing theater, by the way.
That's
That's a
cool.
really helpful tool.
I spoke with Mickey Rowe. He's autistic. He was the lead in The Curious Incident, The Dog in the Nighttime at Syracuse Stage. And he talked about how autism helps him as an actor because he feels like in his daily life, he's playing a role, like he has to memorize scripts. That's what helped him get through social situations. And you brought up the photogenic memory part, which I can see how that helps with many lines. Yeah.
You know, my family and friends always told me that I had a camera inside my head and I took a picture.
That's cool. That's awesome. Cool. So you talked about how it was difficult for you growing up, dealing with kids, dealing with bullies. Was there anyone in particular, like an adult or a friend, who helped you go through that?
One person I do want to thank is my amazing coach, Eden Espinoza, because she was the first acting coach that I've gone to work with when I was younger, when I was like 19 years old. And I shared with her what I had. And from then on, she just accepted me for who I am. And she's taught me to be who I am and also trust my path, and also to trust myself a lot more. And she is one of the most amazing people I've ever worked with. And I started doing monthly sessions with her. And it has been the best times. Every time I get to work with her, I just have the best time ever. And she's just the most amazing, most humble person that I've gotten to work with. And she has helped me overcome a lot of my obstacles and fears as well, not only as a performer, but as a person as well. She always taught me to trust my path and that don't let anything get in my way.
That is awesome. That's awesome to have that support and for the way you appreciate how she's helped you. That's really cool. So you talked about how other people have helped you, but how have you helped yourself to overcome the effects of the bullying all throughout basically, your childhood?
I just had to trust myself and trust my instinct that everything happens for a reason, and that God gave me this gift because he knew I can handle it, and he wants to see how I'm going to handle it and how I'm going to use it. I always picture this as like an arena. They give you all the tools and everything, all the cool fun gadgets and stuff, and then you go out there and then you show them what you got with it. So that's what I say. I was born with this special uniqueness that um that just made me who I am, and also how I can use this to inspire others and overcome a lot of my obstacles. You know, like those kids in school, they picked on me every single day. They picked on me like nonstop and everything, but I didn't let them stop me from doing what I want to do. Is to succeed, is to overcome my challenges, and also being who I am, and also inspiring others that, hey, I am different. Yes, I am not the same as you, but you're also not the same as me. That's how I thought of it as with them. You may think I'm different, but I think you're different too.
That perspective has really helped me when it comes to relating to my sister and caring for her, because at those moments where I start to get worried about how she's going to be able to handle her situation or the challenges that she's facing, I have to remind myself, okay, but My dad used to tell me, God will never give you something that you can't handle.
Yeah.
I think everything you're given is something that you have the power to handle, the power to overcome. And it's just a challenge for you to figure it out. But you will figure it out. And that's
Yeah.
helped me a lot. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of bumps and obstacles along the way. There's no path that is smooth at all. But you have to also keep in mind that not everyone's path is the same. Everybody's path is going to have cracks and everything, and it's going to have cracks along the way, but you just have to know how to step over them and know how to overcome it, you know? I always say that I use my uniqueness as a power tool and not a crutch. That, hey, you know, I'm doing like people say I'm doing theater, but I did have speech issues, and that reading lines is very challenging. I had trouble reading as a child. I was not a very good reader because of my speech delay, and my writing skills were not very, very good because of my disability and stuff. But I did not let that affect me. I just kept practicing and practicing, and actually theater has helped me enhance my reading and writing skills. And now I'm writing my own show called The History of O, and I'm creating my own music for it. If you were to tell me back then that I was going to be able to write my own show, I would have been like, I don't think so. I'm still learning how to write a sentence.
That is so cool. What was your biggest dream back then? What did you see yourself being able to do?
My biggest dream was to be who I am today, was to also inspire others, and that I've overcame this obstacle and they can as well. And to show them that even though I was different, even though I have autism spectrum disorder, that nothing's gonna stop me. I'm unstoppable. I'm like, you can't control me. I am unstoppable. Every challenge you give me along the way, I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. And that's my biggest dream, like just to inspire others around, and also letting them know that just because you are different, that does not make you any different from other people. It's just that you have a special uniqueness about you. And also you can do whatever you want to do. Don't let anything stop you.
It's awesome. I'm wondering how many people can say that and feel like, oh, my dream in the past was to be who I am now. Or maybe for some people that is the reality for them, that their dream was to be who they are, but maybe they don't see that, or they don't appreciate their progress yet. I'm soaking in your wisdom. Good reminders for myself. Yeah. So let's talk about your show. What made you decide to write the show?
So my show is about, it's called The History of O. It is about my life with autism, anxiety, and depression. Depression came when I was around like 16, because one of my symptoms of ASD is a very rare symptom, not everyone will develop it, is anxiety and depression. And that my journey is that it's about my journey on how I overcome all three of them. And that you'll see the struggles that I went through, and that the struggles were not easy, but I made it here to this day. And one of the reasons I wanted to write this is that because growing up, I didn't tell a whole lot of people. I didn't tell anybody that I was being picked on in school. Nobody really knew about it, because I just thought to myself that if I told, it wouldn't really make a difference. And it was a battle that I had to fight on my own. It was something that I just had to do on my own, and that when I'm writing this show, is that I just thought about maybe not everyone is able to do that, so why not be the voice for them, you know, and help spread awareness. And my amazing coach, Eden Espinoza, is helping me on it with my monologues and everything, because she's amazing. And she's the most amazing coach I've ever worked with. You know, the show is basically about acceptance. It's about overcoming fears. It's about facing your fears. It's about overcoming your obstacles, seeing the obstacles you have to climb over. And also it's also to bring awareness to the people that labeling and stereotyping is does affect us in many ways. Like people tell me all the time, oh, you don't look like you have autism. But to me, autism does not always have to be a certain look, you know?
Yeah, and then every person has a different experience.
Yeah.
I think that'll be very powerful. Do you want to bring that to schools? Bring your show to schools?
Wherever it leads, you know, schools, anywhere, as long as it's inspiring other people and other people are enjoying it and people are accepting what the story is about, then that's the success for me, for my show. It could be in a library and then I would still be just as happy.
And we talked about incorporating your experience into our web series, The Voice Inside.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us about how you got involved with the web series and with the Autism Theatre Project?
My friend, my amazing friend, Alexandra, we work at we go to actor therapy together. It's an intensive in New York. And so one day in an intensive, I decided to sing my favorite song from my most favorite musical ever, For Wicked, and I sang For Good, and I got to share my story. And she DM'd me on Instagram one day and say, hey, you should join this amazing theater company that helps actors with special needs. And I'm like, yes, that is a dream goal right there. I'm going to go for it. You know, the more I'm involved in this type of stuff, I feel like I feel the success already. Yep.
Yeah, you've been a huge help. I feel like ever since you got involved with writing, more ideas have been coming, and it's been inspiring hearing your stories. And I think it's just helped all of us come up with more ideas for the series.
Yeah.
Which for our audience, I'll just let you know, the series is basically about how teens with disabilities and also with other obstacles in their lives, including stories from teens without disabilities as well, how they overcome those challenges. And the audience gets a chance to hear the voice inside the head of different characters, depending on which episode we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all based on reality.
I also want to give a shout out to Broadway Artist Alliance. And that's another amazing theater program I'm a part of. And that they were the first theater program I actually joined from New York. And I got to share my story with them. And they are the most amazing people. And that's actually where I got to meet Eden as well. When I got to work with Eden the first time, that was like several years ago. And I also want to give a big thank you to our amazing artistic director, Jennifer Johns, because she's one of the most warmest, most loving people that I love working with. And she's one of the most humble people ever. And she knows about my story and she welcomed me with open arms when I first came. I have so many people I want to thank.
Awesome. That is great. You have this gratitude that reminds me of Mateo, who's an autistic playwright who's also been helping us with the series. You both have this really sincere gratitude for everybody who's helped you in any way possible, which I so appreciate, especially knowing that both of you have had a lot of struggles with, I'll call them haters, people who were trying to get you down in the past, but you still have this very optimistic, loving, and appreciative view of how people can potentially help you, which I think is awesome.
I also do want to, in a way, thank those bullies in school. I'm going to be 100% honest that they, even though I was harassed and I was bullied in school, I was harassed big time. But you know, sometimes things happen for a reason. That happened to you because they knew that they, in a way, sensed that you could do it. And they, in a way, sense that the harder they push you, the more you'll be able to succeed. And that the amount of bullying I got from those kids in school just made me who I am today. So I want to say thank you, though. Thank you to those kids in school that really pushed me to where I am today. I always try to think of the positive and not the negative.
It's very inspiring, very helpful. I love that perspective. That's interesting. Yeah. The idea that the bullies or the haters or whatever in your life subconsciously sense that the more they push you, the more they're going to help to strengthen you to achieve their goals, even though they consciously thought they were doing the opposite.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool idea. I've never heard anybody say that before. What other advice do you have specifically for teens who are dealing with anxiety or depression?
My advice to them is that they're not alone. You know, they're in no way walking alone. It may feel like they're alone, but they're not. There's always other people by their side, and that don't allow any of that to affect who you are. And that if you want to go for something, go for it. You know, you want to achieve something, go for it. Don't let that stop you. No matter who you are, having a form of disability or form of uniqueness doesn't define you who you are. If I can do it, you can do it too.
What practices or habits did you have that help you stay in a more positive mindset despite the tendency towards anxiety or depression?
I would just think of it this way. A lot of everybody has struggles, and that nobody's perfect. Everybody has flaws that we all have to work on. Nobody's perfect at all. And that I also just think of it this way. It's the why not use your experience to inspire others. I will be by your side. Is anyone who's watching that if you're feeling in some type of way, just remember me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So awesome. Any last advice, Olivia, specifically for teens with disabilities and teens with disabilities who want to go into the arts?
You know, if the arts is something that you love to do, don't let your disability discourage you from doing it. And that the more you share your story, the more you're going to feel good about yourself. And also, you can create, like, there are so many ways that you can create an art form with your special ability that you have. Like, for example, I started creating my own monologues for my show, explaining what I have, you know, and each stage that I went through in my life as well, you know. You can utilize your special, unique skill in a form of art, you know. And don't let that stop you. If you love the arts, go for it. That's what art is for. Art is to expand your abilities. It's, to me, it's not just going up, just like singing and dancing and then like that on. An art form, if you're getting into the arts, think of your special ability as a form of art, and you're utilizing it and creating your own art with it.
Well, it was great talking to you, Olivia. If there are
Aww, I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No, this was really awesome. If you have any links, Instagram or anything where you want people to contact you.
My Instagram is @WickedOllieLove. And then that will link you to my YouTube channel. So if any of you out there are feeling down or anything, just feel free to reach out, you know. Feel free to reach out to me and I will reply back as soon as I can.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Olivia. I'm excited.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The voices that says listen to your heart. Every day's a brand new start. Make decisions in your life that make great visions come to life.